Okay, so the next part, we are going to be talking about how to experiment well. What's a good experiment? What's a bad experiment? Okay, so many golfers started using long putters, anchored putting, until it was recently banned. Are anchored putters actually better than traditional putters? So we're kind of back with that. So suppose that we have 30 students willing to participate in our experiment to test short putters versus long putters. We decide to have 15 students use the short and 15 use the long. Suppose we let students pick which putter they wanted to use. Why might this be a bad problem? Well, this could be a bad problem because all of the good golfers might choose the long putter. So that could cause some bias. Instead of letting students choose which putter they will use, we can use random assignment to select 15 for the long putter and 15 for the short. Explain how you could use slips of paper to do a random assignment. So how to use slips of paper? Well, we could write each student's name on equal sized slips of paper. So if they're not in equal size, then we could definitely tell that there could be some cheating. So put them in a hat and mix well. So another important thing, mix well. And then what we'll do is we will pick 15 students or 15 slips of paper, and the student names on those slips will use the long putter. The remaining names or students, sorry, will use the short putter. So important uh, pieces of information, equal size slips of paper, and mixing well. Explain how we could, number 3 says, explain how we can use a random number generator to do a random assignment. So we can give each student a number from 1 to 30, use a random number generator to get 15 different numbers with no repeats. The students labeled with these 15 numbers will use the long putter. The remaining 15 students will use the short putter. What is the purpose of using a random assignment? The purpose is to create 2 groups that are roughly equivalent. So some good golfers in each group. Okay, so that's what we want here. We want equal so we can prevent bias. Next question, what other variables will we attempt to keep the same experiment during, keep the same during this experiment? We'll list several and why. So other variables will have the same distance putt. We'll have the same green. We'll do the same ball. And reasons why. First of all, to prevent confounding. So like from the previous slide or video, sorry, we talked about confounding variables, right? And then to reduce variability. Okay, so those are the 2 reasons why what we want to keep the same. So here I have important ideas from the text. So our first one is a random assignment. So we've got two here. We have slips of paper, same size, mix well. And then we have the random number generator, and we need to ignore repeats for that. Number two, use random assignments to create groups that are roughly equivalent. And then the third one, keep other variables the same to prevent confounding. And to reduce variability. So those are the important ideas from this text. So I have an application problem here. Researchers in Canada performed an experiment with university students to examine the effects of multitasking on student learning. The 40 participants in the study were asked to attend a lecture and take notes with their laptops. Half the participants were randomly assigned to complete other online tasks not related to the lecture during that time. These tasks were meant to imitate typical student web browsing during classes. The remaining students simply took notes with their laptops. At the end of the lecture, all participants took a comprehension test to measure how much they learned from it. The results, students who were assigned to multitask did significantly worse, 11%, than students who were not assigned to multitask. So first, describe how the researchers could have carried out the random assignment. So first, we could have labeled students with numbers 1 through 40, and then randomly generate 20 different integers or numbers from 1 to 40 with no repeats. The students with these labels will take notes while completing other online tasks. The other 20 students will simply take notes on their laptops. All right, so that's just describing how to carry out a random assignment. Why is it important that the researchers randomly assign treatments to students? To create a roughly equivalent groups at the beginning of the experiment. Okay, so there's that word again, roughly equivalent. Identify one variable that the researchers kept the same for all subjects. Provide two reasons why it was important for the research to keep this variable the same. The amount of time in the lecture. Okay, right, that was the same. And the two reasons why: to prevent, I don't know why I'm doing that, to prevent confounding and to reduce variability. Basically making it easier to see if one treatment is more effective. Okay, that is all I have for this these notes here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and email me. And that's it. Hope you have a great week.